Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Monday, January 15, 2024. Glad you could join us on this still snowy Monday here for us in West Michigan. How much did it snow where you live? Share in the comments. We'll jump right now to John 14:14. Jesus says something rather scandalous yet wonderful. He said, "If you ask me for anything in my name, I will do it." So that's a great thing. But is there a line between desire and demand? And I came across this in Psalm 78. Let me quickly go over just a few things that help us understand the difference between desiring something from God and demanding something from God. So the psalmist is writing, he reminds us of the Old Testament history that God divided the sea, he guided them through the sea to freedom. He even brought water from a rock as they were thirsty in the desert. Yet the people continued to sin and they continued to rebel. So this song, Psalm 78, is about the story of God's people going through this constant cycle of rebelling, getting in trouble, crying out to God. He delivers for them, he provides for them, and they just continue to forget. They keep forgetting over and over and over again. It slips their mind that God is so good. It says that they willfully put God to the test by demanding food they craved. They spoke against God. They said, "Can God really spread a table in the wilderness? Like, are we eating dinner out here or what?" They even knew. They said, yeah, he made water come out of a rock, and sure, streams flowed abundantly, but can he also give us bread? Now, here we get into something where it's like God has proven himself faithful, and he's shown himself to be worthy of our trust, and yet we still can't trust him with everything. The most fascinating part of this verse right here is the word "yet" down at the bottom. God puts up with us so well. We put him to the test. He hears this, he's furious, and yet he gave a command to the skies above and opens the doors of the heavens. This is a beautiful thing that God does for us. So what's the difference between demand and desire and demand? Well, first of all, I want to say that there are some movements, prosperity gospel preachers, who would say that indeed we should demand from God. We should speak a word and say, this is what will happen this year in my life. Now, there's a fine line, or actually kind of a thick line, between desiring that, wanting that in your life, and demanding it, saying, God, you will do this or else, almost like a hostage situation or a negotiation tactic, as if God has to do this because you've said these words. You're describing Harry Potter. You're not describing faithfulness and trust in the Lord. Here's what it says in Psalm 37. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Now, of course, the key in that is what? That we delight in God, that we actually know him so well, and we enjoy him so much that he's got the space to change our hearts and to make us new. In other words, when Jesus says, ask for anything in my name, he trusts that we're actually doing it in his name. So, like this, desire plus demand, we're trying to control God. Desire plus the delight of our hearts in God, that's where we trust God. And that, my friends, is the sweet spot. So don't live in the demand. Live in the desire and live in the delight. That's RadCast.